Hi, welcome to Enjoy Learning Computer Science. In this session, we are going to discuss some important board-based questions from text file handling. Before watching this video, if you have not watched my previous videos of text file handling, I have given the links in the description box. Watch those videos for clear understanding of these programs. Let's go into the topic. First question, write a method in Python to read the content of the text file story.txt line by line, and you have to display in the screen. So you have to write a method. What is method? A function. So you have to write a user defined function. It is not necessary to write a program. Okay, you have to write only a function to read the content of the text file story.txt. The name of the file is given and you have to read line by line and then display on the screen. So this is your story.txt, your text file. So which you have to read the content line by line and you have to display the content also. So open Python, then you select new file. So first thing you have to create a user defined function. You have to define. So def starts with user defined function, starts with def. Def name of the function. So I'm going to give read content because you can give any name for your function, and then open the file. F is equal to open, name of the text file is story.txt, comma, the mode is R because we are going to read the content and display the content. So open the file in read mode. Okay, now you have to read the content line by line till the end of the file. So I'm giving in a loop. While true, while the condition is true, you are going to read f dot read line and store it in a variable because we have to display the line which is read, right? So line is equal to f dot read line. Now I am going to check a condition. If line is equal to empty string, that means if when you read a line, when there is no character, it will return an empty string. So when it is an empty string, that means you have reached the end of the file. So you have to stop the loop. I am giving break. Else what you have to do? You have to print the line. So print line. So if line is equal to empty, stop, break, else print line. So now the line is printed. Let's close the text file f dot close. Now we have closed the text file. Your function is defined. Now let's call the function. How will you call the function? Read content. Okay, always after the function definition leave a line and then the function call. Let's save the program. Control S, give any name for your program and then save. Then we'll execute using F5. You can see it has displayed all the lines one after the other, but there is a blank line in between. How to remove this blank line? Along with the print statement, you have to give the end. End is equal to empty quotes. That means the new line \n will not be added. So there will not be any blank space in between the lines. Now Control S, again save and execute. You can see the lines of the text file is displayed line by line. So you have read line by line using readline function and we have displayed the content also line by line. Write a method in Python to read the lines from the text file story.txt and display those lines which are starting with the alphabet A. So the name of the text file is given. You have to read the lines from the text file and display the lines only which are starting with the alphabet A. So open Python. So first let's define a function def read A because we are going to read and display the lines which are starting with A. So read A colon. Let's open the file. F is equal to open, the name of the text file story.txt which is given in the question, comma, read mode. We are going to read the content. Now we are going to read the lines. In the question it is asked read the lines. So f dot read lines. This read lines function will accept only list data type. right? So it will return list data type only. So we are storing it in a variable called lines. So lines will contain a list. So first line will be stored as the first element, second line will be stored as the second element of the list, and so on. Now we are going to read line by line, first element, second element, and so on. So let's use the loop for I in lines. So first I will take the first element, which is the first line of the text file, second line. So we have to check if the line is starting with the character A. So if the first character, so what is the index of the first character? 0. So if the I of 0 is equal to the character A, double equal to, single equal to is assignment, okay? If it is equal to A, then we have to display. So print that line I. Otherwise, don't print. So this is the loop. So this loop will be continued till you reach the end of the file. Now let's close the text file, f.close. Your function definition is over. Now let's call the function read A. Save the program, then execute. You can see only one line is displayed. That line is starting with A. Let's see the text file. Yes, in the text file we have only one line which begins with the letter A. Write a method in Python to count the number of lines from the text file story.txt which are starting with an alphabet H. The name of the text file is given as story.txt. You have to count the number of lines which are starting with an alphabet H. Open Python program. Let's define a function, a method, def count H, because we are going to count the number of lines starting with H. Let's open the text file. F is equal to open. The name of the text file is story.txt, comma, the mode, read, R, because we are going to read the content and display the number of lines starting with the letter H. Now let's read the text file using readlines function, f.readlines. Readlines will return in list format. Let's store it in a variable lines. Now lines will have a list which has so many elements. The first element will store the first line of the text. Second element will store the second line of the text file, and so on. Okay. Now we are going to count the number of lines which are starting with an alphabet H. So initially we'll declare a variable called count is equal to 0. Let's assign. So let's assume that initially the number of lines starting with H is 0. Now let's start the loop for I in lines. That means first I will take the first element, that is the first line of the text file. Then I will go to the second line, third line, so on till the end of the file is reached. Now we are going to check the first character of the first element, that is index 0. So if I of 0, that means first line's first character is equal to H. When it is equal to H, what you have to give? You have to increment the count. Now count will become count plus 1. Right? After incrementing, let's print that line also. Print I. Okay. So this process will continue till the end of the file is reached. So outside the loop, let's print the number of lines starting with the letter H is how many? Count, because everything is stored in count only. Count is only incrementing. So if the number of lines is stored in the variable count, okay, so print number of lines starting with the alphabet H, comma, it is count, because everything is stored in count. And then let's close the text file, f.close. So now your after closing the text file, your function definition is over. Then we have to call the function. How will we call the function? By specifying the name of the function. What is the name of the function? Count H. Okay. Now let's save this program. Control S. Then execute F5. You can see the output. The lines are displayed which are starting with the letter H. So how many lines? 4. Let's see the text file. How many lines are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, exactly. But there is an empty line between every line. I want to remove that one. So along with the print statement, you add end is equal to empty quotes. Now after printing all the lines, I want to type number of lines starting with H after leaving one line. So I am including \n at the beginning. Save and execute. You can see it is displaying all the lines which are starting with H, and the number of lines starting with H is 4. So we use readlines function, and then we have to check the condition. If the first character is H, you have to increment the count. Write a method in Python to read the lines from the text file story.txt and display those lines which are either starting with an alphabet T or with an alphabet H. The text file is story.txt. You have to read the text file, and then you have to print the lines which begins with T or H. More or less like the previous program. Let's open the same program. Let's change the name of the function definition as read TH, because we are going to read and display the lines which are begins with T and H. So opening is the same. You read the line using the readlines function and store it in lines. Now we are using loop. So read lines will return in list format. So lines will have a list. So now we have to check whether the line is beginning with T or H. So what is the first character's index? 0. So if I of 0 is equal to T or I of 0 equal to H, that means if the first character is T or H, then you have to print that line. So you have to display. So print I. No need to count and all. Previous program we have counted. Here there is no counting. Just display the line. Okay. Now remove the print number of lines. You remove it. Then close the text file. Then let's call the function using count H. Okay. So we have read the content of the text file using readlines function and stored it in a variable called lines. So lines will have a list of elements. The first element will have the first line of the text file, second element, second line, and so on. Then we check the first character of the first line using the index 0. Okay. Now let's save this program and let's execute and see the output. You can see it is displaying all the lines which begin with H or T. So let's open and see the text file. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines are there. So those 7 lines are displayed as output which begins with T or H. Write a method in Python long lines to read the lines from the text file story.txt and display those lines which are more than 50 characters. So the name of the text file is story.txt. You have to open the file, read the lines and find out the length of the lines. If the length of a line is more than 50, then you have to display the lines. So let's do open Python. First, let's define a function def. The name of the function is given in the question itself. So you have to use the same name only. So long lines. Now let's open the text file. F is equal to open. The name of the text file is story.txt, comma, the mode R. Now let's read the content of the text file. You have to read the lines. So let's use f.readlines. Read lines will return in list format. Okay. And let's store this in a variable called lines. Now we have to use the loop for I in lines. So I first will take the first element which is the first line, second then the second element, second line, and so on. We have to check the length of that line. So if len of I is greater than 50, when it is greater than 50 only we have to print. So print I, and then I don't want to leave any blank line in between, so I'm giving end is equal to. So that's all. We have completed. Let's close the file f.close. Now let's call the function long lines. After that, save the program, Ctrl S, execute using F5. You can see the output. Only the lines which have more than 50 characters are displayed as outputs. Write a method in Python to count the total number of words in a file. So you have to read the content of the text file and you have to count the number of words in a text file. So open Python. Let's define a function count words. I'm giving the name of the function as count words. Def count words. And then let's open the text file. F is equal to open. Let's open the same text file story.txt, and I'm going to open in read mode R. So now let's read the entire content of the text file using read function. Okay. So read function will return in string format. So f dot read, and then store it in a variable called content. So content is equal to f dot read. Now I want to count the number of words. This is in a single string. I want to make it as word by word. So for that we are going to use a function called split. So content only will have all the entire string. So content dot split means it will split the entire string word by word, and let's store it in a variable called words. Okay, words is equal to content dot split. Now we have to count the number of words. So initialize a variable, count is equal to 0. Always you have to initialize, and then loop for I in words. So for first I will take the first word and increment the count. Count will become count plus 1. Then when I goes to the second word, count will become again 1. So till the end of the file this process will be repeated, and then let's finally display the output. Print the total number of words in the text file is stored in which variable? Exactly, it is stored in count. Okay, so this is the program. Let's close the text file. F dot close. After closing, let's call the function using count words. After that, let's save the file and let's execute. You can see the number of words in the text file will be displayed. So it is displaying total number of words is 93. So very simple this program. Read the content using read function, and then you have to split the words using split function, and then count one by one by putting inside a loop. Write a method in Python to read lines from a text file story.txt and to find and display the occurrence of the word there. So you have to open the file story.txt, read the content, and you have to find out the number of times the word there occurs, and you have to display the count also. More or less like the previous program, open the same program. Let's change the name of the function as count there, because we are going to count the word there. Opening of the text file is the same. Then we'll read the content using f dot read and store it in a variable called content. Then you have to split word by word. So content dot split, put it in a variable words. Initialize count is equal to 0. Now for each word you are going to check whether it is equal to the word there. So for I double equal to there. So I first it will take the first word. Then the second loop it will take the second word, third word, fourth word, till the end of the file. This process will go, and every time when it is equal to the, we will increment the count. Okay. So I will store the words one by one. So finally we'll print total occurrences of the word there is the count. It is stored in the variable count. Okay. Then we'll close the file, and then we'll call the function using count there. So after that, let's you can save and execute the program. Here the same procedure only we have used. We have read the content using f.read and you have used split function. You see total occurrences of the word the is 9. You can see your text file and count the number of the in this text file. It is displaying 9 times. It is there in the text file 9 times. So first read the content using f.read, then store it in a variable, then split word by word, initialize count is equal to 0, then you have to check whether it is equal to there and increment the count. Write a Python program to read data from a text file and print only the numbers or digits from the file. So you have to open a text file and you have to count only the numbers or digits from the text file. So I have created a text file called data text which contains alphabets and digits. Let's open a Python program. First let's create a function def count digits because we are going to count only the digits, and then we will open the file. F is equal to open, the name of the text file is datatext.txt and the mode is R. We are going to read the content and count the digits, so it is read mode. Now we have to read the content of the text file using read function. F.read. Store it in a variable called data. Data is equal to F.read. Let's initialize the count is equal to 0. We are going to count the number of digits only. So count is equal to 0. For I in data. First I will take the first character, then the second character and so on. We have to check whether it is a digit. If I dot is digit will be true only if it is a digit. So when it is a digit, you have to increment the count and print that word, print that character. So print I, and I am incrementing the count when if I dot is digit is true. That means when that character is a digit. So this loop will get executed till the end of the file. After that loop, after executing till the end of the file, we have to print the total number of digits. So let's give print total number of digits is where we have stored. We have stored it in the variable count. Now we have to close the text file. F.close. Your function is defined. Let's call the function using count digits. This is the function call. We'll specify only the name of the function. Now let's save and execute. You can see all the digits are displayed and the total number of digits also is displayed as 9. So isDigit function is used to check whether a character is digit or not. Programming in text file handling is very simple, right? Hope you have all understood the concepts clearly. Now you're all ready to write the programs fatafat. Am I right? Yes. Stay tuned for further updates. My YouTube channel, Enjoy Learning Computer Science. Stay at home, stay safe, stay blessed. Thank you. Bye-bye.